Did a lot of people speak English there in Chile?
No. Hardly any of them.
No.
It's not like Europe where you have a 50-50 chance. I stopped by this Vietnamese restaurant, which was a really nice Vietnamese restaurant. Chilean food sucks. You have to go to Peruvian or Vietnamese or French restaurants while you're down there. Nobody spoke English so far as I could tell. I'm sitting at the bar thinking about how I don't know Spanish nearly as well as I should. And some jazz music is playing. And a waiter is down the bar from me and he starts going on the bar, you know? And I look at him and he goes, "Whiplash!" And I go, it's like, faster, slower. Oh, you know Whiplash. Suddenly, all the bartenders knew how to speak English. They were giving me free drinks.
Wow.
Yes.
Just because you saw a movie.
It takes a long time for movies to get down there. They had to like really dig deep into the internet to find Whiplash. So yeah, La Lengua Universal. Movies. Películas.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. In our last episode, we watched a movie by Elaine May. Here she is. This is one of her old comedy albums. Elaine May.
Yeah.
Say, who's that other fella?
The late Mike Nichols.
Oh, he made movies too, didn't he?
Yeah, a couple.
Well, maybe we should watch one tonight.
Maybe we should.
Mike Nichols has directed some of our favorite movies, such as The Graduate.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Yeah. And tonight's movie. But there's a problem.
Yeah.
I can't show you what's in this envelope unless you already know what it is. And you can't already know what it is unless I show you what's in this envelope. That, my friend, is a Catch-22.
Ah, excellent. Good. I'm really happy this isn't Wolf. Wolf is a bad movie.
Released in 1970, check out this cast. Alan Arkin, Richard Benjamin, Art Garfunkel, Buck Henry, Bob Newhart, Anthony Perkins, Martin Sheen, John Voight, Bob Balaban.
Oh, yeah.
Charles Grodin, and Orson Mother-Flippin' Welles.
And Martin Balsam.
Seen today as a classic war satire, it unfortunately was overshadowed that year by another war satire, Robert Altman's M.A.S.H., which was more critically acclaimed and a bigger hit at the box office.
You know, it's funny that you've never seen this because I just watched M.A.S.H. for the first time.
This was Art Garfunkel's acting debut. The Simon & Garfunkel song, The Only Living Boy in New York, was written by Paul Simon about his experience being left alone when Garfunkel went off to Mexico to shoot Catch-22.
Oh.
Isn't that sad?
It's sweet, too. I went to Chile. What song did you write for me?
The Only Living Boy in the Basement.
I'd have to say my favorite book is Catch-22.
I have read the book.
I'm ready to go on this mission.
If you're going to win a war, Craig, it's all about strategy. Perhaps you need to bone up on your strategic skills, and so I have this gift for you.
All right. Oh, this thing. It's one of these triangle puzzles.
You jump the things and you try to get all the... You know how it works.
This is going to make my house seem like I'm at Cracker Barrel. Every single time I sit down at the table, I'd be like, oh, waiting for dinner.
10 Hut, report immediately to the old leather couch as we take off on another bombing mission known as Catch-22. It's really too bad they made that sequel, Catch-23.
Yeah.
No good. World War II. Planes are taking off at an Army Air Force base stationed in Italy. Now you stay away from that danger zone. This is where Captain Yossarian is stationed. In this movie, I bet he literally meets Gestapo tactics. I mean Gestapo tactics, that's not right.
They come in here, they steal, they bomb everything.
They say, who takes the phones?
As he's leaving, he gets stabbed.
Then we go back in time to before Yossarian was stabbed. This movie does that a lot.
Hold on, guys. He has a lot to remember.
Yossarian is talking to the doc, and he wants the doc to ground him. They raise the number of required missions for bombardiers from 25 to 50, and they're just going to keep on raising them. The doctor says, I could ground you if you were crazy.
He's crazy, all right.
Is that Balaban?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You may as well call him Bob Barely Recognizable Ban.
And I must be crazy to keep flying. But if I ask to be grounded, that means I'm not crazy anymore and I have to keep flying.
You've got it. That's Catch-22.
Colonel Cathcart is the guy who's in charge of the base, and he's the one who keeps raising the number of missions.
I want to wish you good luck on today's mission.
Martin Balsam, the thinking man's Ernest Borgnine. etc., etc. Lieutenant Milo Minderbinder makes an appearance.
He's a local quartermaster who has figured out a way to get rich off the war
by trading commodities. 2 years after Midnight Cowboy, he's still playing a hustler.
Yeah.
Cotton is a particularly liquid commodity.
How much?
We'll trade for it, sir.
With what?
Silk.
Where did he get all this silk?
Where the hell's my parachute?
The fellas go on a bombing raid, and it's a hairy one. Explosions everywhere, it's war.
Yossarian gets some shrapnel in the leg. During the blackout, he remembers another mission in which a man was injured. Some kid named Snowden.
A gunner who died on his first mission. Yossarian flashes back to Snowden's death many times in the course of the movie. So he's got to be laid up in the infirmary for a while, and he's visited by Chaplain Tapman. Keep this guy away from Martin Balsam. They have a bad past.
Yes.
Were all World War II nurses this busty?
Preferably.
I think we have to keep our supernatural episodes down to a minimum with a war to win and all that.
Oh, come on. Supernatural forces will help you win a war.
That's right. Have you not seen Raiders of the Lost Ark or read the Book of Joshua? Or is Yossarian's bunkmate? This is his 4th time wrecking a plane.
Growing the beard was a good choice for him.
Yeah.
His face looks a little strange. He's got kind of a horse face.
I wouldn't call it a horse face. It's too tiny to be a horse
sort
face.
of like
a horse face would be like, Jerry Seinfeld is a horse face. Like long and thin.
All right. You're the authority on horse faces.
So the chaplain decides to go talk to Colonel Cathcart.
Well, Chaplain, we don't see much of...
I'm just over here taking a balsam. I'll be done in a minute.
Cathcart says, hey,
I want you to think of some nice, snappy prayers that'll send the officers out feeling good.
Bouncy prayers in the key of C. I'll try. Wait, not prayers, show tunes.
Their business is to fly missions. Your business is to think of some short, catchy prayers.
Show tunes.
Now, good afternoon, Chaplain.
Yes, sir.
General Dreedle arrives.
And General Dreedle's driver. And nobody's ever seen a woman like General Dreedle's driver.
Can't you see a lady is standing?
A chair for for the lady!
General Dreedle's female companion causes quite a ruckus among the men. Boing!
Dreedle tells him to can it.
The next man who moans is going to be very sorry. Oh.
And General Dreedle orders...
Take him out and shoot him. Sir? You mean I can't shoot whoever I want to?
Unfortunately, Dreedle can't just kill a guy.
Colonel Cathcart raises the number of missions from 50 to 75. The men are not happy. Not happy. The men are taking some R&R in Rome, and they're hanging out at a cafe with a bunch of prostitutes. Nately, the young kid, is in love with one of them. He's going to marry her and take her back to the States. Lieutenant Aardvark arrives.
Arfie is the navigator on Yossarian's plane. He's a man of great principles.
I wasn't going to take advantage of a sweet kid like that. Old Arfie's got some principles.
Arthur, you've got a diseased mind.
But then Yossarian sees a woman, and she's beautiful.
Seems like an odd choice, being so soon after 2001.
Yep.
He's gonna go open the pod bay doors, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you call a classic Roman traffic cop block. They're doing their next mission, a bombing raid on a town named Ferrara. But there's nothing in Ferrara to bomb. There's no Germans, there's no munition. They're just bombing this town for no reason. Yossarian takes matters into his own hands, and they drop their ordnance into the ocean instead. They're gonna get in big trouble, right? Wrong.
We're presenting these men with medals for doing a lousy job. Is that right?
I don't think that's quite the situation.
When I want an answer from you, I'll look at you, which will be as seldom as possible.
General.
And how's Yossarian dressed? Well, not at all.
You're a very weird person, Yossarian.
Thank you, sir.
McWatt is flying a plane around recklessly. A guy named Hungry Joe is standing out on a raft, and the props of the plane cut him in half. Whoa! He's dead. Everybody's losing their mind. Milo tries to get Yossarian to eat chocolate-covered cotton. You see, that cotton deal went sour, and now he's got a surplus of cotton that he can't do anything with.
It will make them sick. Why don't you try it yourself if you don't believe me?
I did, and it made me sick.
Can't eat cotton. It's not edible.
We go back to Rome, and there we hang out with Nately, and Nately is talking to a very old man.
That it's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. You have it backwards. It's better to live on your feet than to die on your knees.
Captain Orr crashes his plane.
Except weird thing this time. Orr wasn't found. He seems to be kind of dead.
Cathcart raises the number of missions to 80. This causes Dobbs to go crazy, and he's going to go murder Cathcart.
Crazy? What the hell's the matter with you? Nothing's the matter with me. It's the first sane thing I've ever done.
You don't mess with him. He's a Sheen, so he has tiger blood.
That's right.
That reference brought to you by 3 years ago. Suddenly, planes come from out of nowhere. They start bombing the base. Those look like our planes.
Who's in charge? It's Milo.
Colonel Cathcart shows up and sets them straight.
We have to get rid of that cotton. The Germans promised to take it off our hands if we ran this mission for them. It's all part of the deal.
Nately is killed in the raid.
So Yossarian has to go into Rome and break the bad news to Nately's girlfriend. He finds the brothel abandoned. The old man who was never going to die has died.
He was alive 1 minute, then he was dead.
He was on his feet, then he was on his knees briefly, and then he was dead.
And all we have left is an old woman who informs them that the women have been rounded up. And the military police who rounded them up just kept saying one thing.
Catch-22.
That's right.
Catch-22.
There's always that catch.
Catch-22.
There's a nice ring to it when she says it.
Yeah.
Catch-22. Catch-22.
Catch-22.
Yossarian finds Nately's whore and breaks the news, and she doesn't take it very well.
Yossarian has to get out of there right quick.
Yossarian wanders around the town,
and he sees some horrible stuff.
I gotta go back and fly more missions. Anything's better than wandering around Rome at midnight. There's a woman who's been thrown out of a window.
He recognizes that woman. That woman was with Arfie earlier.
You killed him?
Well, I had to do that after I raped her. I couldn't very well let her go around saying bad things about me.
The MPs show up. They arrest Yossarian for being AWOL. Back at the base, Colonel Cathcart and Colonel Korn decide they're going to send Yossarian home. He's just causing too much trouble.
Of course, there's one catch. Like us.
On Facebook. Go back, make speeches about the war effort, how it's a great thing. Particularly Colonel Cathcart.
Yossarian says, I'll do it. He walks outside.
He's stabbed. Knife to meet you. And we're sent back to the beginning of the movie.
Help the bombardier!
And everything with this guy is Snowden.
Yeah.
Snowden died. I'm sad. It shook me up. Get over it. Ooh. All right, I take back what I said. The Snowden flashbacks, they're quite traumatic.
Yes. Weeks later, Yossarian has recovered in the military hospital. Danby and the chaplain stop by, and they talk about how basically everyone's dead.
He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't think he can take the deal. He just can't like these guys. He considers desertion.
Remember Orr and how he died in that plane crash? He didn't die. He paddled all the way around Europe and got to Sweden, where there's nothing going on because they're a neutral country. Yossarian's like, if Orr can do it, I can do it too. And he grabs a raft and he runs in the Mediterranean.
And he paddles out to sea.
And hopefully, he too will be free someday.
It's better to live on your feet than die on your knees. Catch-22.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of dying in this movie.
And paradoxes.
Of all the movies we've watched for this show, is this the one you've seen the most?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has this viewing given to you that has deepened your appreciation or understanding of the film?
This is the first time I've seen it on DVD. I've always seen it on either VHS, and one time I saw it on film, and so it's all grainy and everything. And so this time, I really got how beautiful of a movie it is. There are some gorgeous shots in it. That walk through Rome is like out of a Caravaggio painting. But there's certain shots in this movie, I don't know how they did it. Still, after all these years, when I see Hungry Joe get chopped in half, I don't know how they pulled that off. It looks far too real. This is the best movie they could have made with what they had in 1970.
Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars, it should have at least been nominated, because to adapt that book to the screen is a feat.
But who won it that year? M.A.S.H.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. They just threw out the screenplay and they improvised the entire movie. And they got an Oscar for it.
Do you think this was a better movie than M.A.S.H?
I think it's a far better movie than M.A.S.H.
I do too. It's got comedy, but it also has really high drama. It's more of a tapestry of a movie.
I think M.A.S.H. is a more important film because it started Altman's career.
More of a cultural phenomenon.
Yes, but that one feels far more dated. It is, and also the treatment of women in that movie is reprehensible.
Sure.
I could go on about M.A.S.H.
Yes, well, we're talking about Catch-22.
We are, and that's the problem with Catch-22. There's always that shadow.
Yeah. The idea of using other wars to comment on the current war is an interesting tactic, an interesting satirical tactic. Because, you know, with Vietnam, you can't really satirize it when bulletins are still coming in.
Yeah.
You know, it's still, it hasn't played out.
Yeah, and also getting down on the older generation. Oh, we fought the good fight. We fought the good war. How many of you were Colonel Cathcarts? How many of you were Milo Minor-benders? You know, who were the jerks, as they would have said back then? Who were the jerks in the war?
Alan Arkin was all over the 70s.
I love Alan Arkin.
I'm really glad to see that he's come back. He won an Oscar. In the 80s and 90s, he was just sort of like in the wilderness.
What are you talking about? Jerky Boys movie. Why did they call me Fruity Ass?
He did Glengarry Glen Ross, which is a fantastic movie.
One of my least favorite characters in all of literature, right up there with the kid in Magnificent Ambersons, is Milo Minor-bender.
Yeah.
He is a pure villain.
Even more so than Arfie?
Well, Arfie is like so minor in it.
Yeah.
Milo bombs the base.
Sure.
He kills his own friends, purported friends, just to sell some cotton.
And he collaborates with the Nazis. Yeah, I suppose he is worse than Arfie.
And so I love that the last time you see Milo in the movie, it's basically looking like a Nazi procession. That he has turned the corner into this kind of economic fascism.
I thought Jon Voight was a weird choice for that role, but he really does it well. He's got that pretty face, that smile.
Yeah, he's the Boy Scout that you can always trust.
Yeah.
You know, and this is my favorite performance of his, just because it's so perfectly cast.
Orson Welles is great as the general. I wish he was on screen more.
Yeah.
Apparently he was a little difficult to work with.
Orson Welles?
He can just step out of a car and the job is done, you know? Well, not enough Orson Welles.
Or enough Austin Pendleton. I'd have to say that just that true about all movies. Not enough Austin Pendleton.
Yeah.
Searching for Bobby Fischer, What's Up, Doc, Saving Private Ryan. He's not in it enough. He's not even in Saving Private Ryan. Where was he in Steel Magnolias? I don't know. That could have been a great movie if it had Austin Pendleton.
I think the insanity of this movie is translating into your brain.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little fun fact, or not so fun fact about this movie. Second unit director John Jordan refused to wear a harness during a bomber scene. He fell out of the open tail turret and fell 4,000 feet to his death.
That's not fun at all.
That happened.
All right, guys, wear your harness.
So, final thoughts on Catch-22.
It's Abbott and Costello meet Samuel Beckett.
Well, you know, a mission that you can do that you'll enjoy, and you can do it 50 or 75 times or however often you want. It's go to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all of the episodes that we've ever made, all 70-some.
Yeah.
And there's a PayPal donation button. You can click on it, donate to support our show. Just a few dollars here and there will help us continue to bring the quality entertainment that you are seeing right now to you.
Has anyone done that recently?
Oh, yeah. Sella, Owen, Alexander, Kurt, who says, your show has broadened my horizons. Tobias, who says, greetings from good old Sweden.
Say hi to Or for us.
Would love to hear you both cheer out the Swedish word, Shofaderlon. Shofaderlon! I tried to find a translation for that. I could not. I hope it's not a naughty word. Jason, Stephen, James, Melissa, who says, my friend Aaron became convinced that Craig is a vampire that lives in Matt's basement. I cannot confirm or deny that.
You cannot.
Mark, who says, watching Welcome to the Basement is like spending time with some good friends. Sean, Anders, Riot Nerd Comics, Gregory, who says, thanks for the fun and insight, Timothy, who says, thanks for the things and stuff, and Lucas, who says, is your P.O. Box still a thing? I'd like to send you something. There it is right there, and we got some more goodies. Postcards.
Mail call.
Scuba Santa there. We've got this pretty lady.
Hello.
Bing Crosby ice cream.
Oh, hey.
Raymond Hull said that he found these old-timey postcards in his basement. They got funny little corny jokes on them. He sent those along.
Oh, geez.
And one of our viewers, Michael, is doing an interesting experiment. He's got a bunch of these postcards featuring 50s rock and roller Gary U.S. Bonds. And he says he's going to send one to us every month with a different Seen It suggestion on until we read one.
Oh.
As soon as you send one that we've seen, we will do that. Hasn't happened yet, but keep going.
Maybe Michael's last name is U.S. Bonds. This is his dad.
We've got fan art of a sort. One of our viewers, Antonia Frazier, says, a friend of mine posted this up, and I thought, hang on, this guy looks like Craig Johnson. There he is. Nothing makes me happier than to know that this photo exists. I love everything about it. His oversized red sweater, his little wispy beard, his casual stance. I really want to get this enlarged and hang it on the wall so I can look at it every day.
Well, it's not me. Sorry, everyone. Not me.
Well, it could be. There he is. Your version of that, you would be holding postcards, because that's your passion.
Yeah, it's my passion.
Now it's time for Seen It.
You ask us if we've seen a movie, but we can't see them. You want us to talk about a movie, and we tell you that we can't talk about it because we've seen the movie by talking about it.
That doesn't make sense.
Catch-22.
Joe Horwath writes, if you haven't already, you should watch Every Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood and an orangutan. I'm only 10 minutes in at time of posting, and it has already changed my life. Seen it.
Seen it. Sandra Locke, I believe you have Ruth Gordon.
Ruth Gordon, who's always brilliant.
Yeah.
My dad loves this movie.
Anything's good that has a man driving around with a monkey.
Yeah.
BJ and the Bear.
Totally.
And I think that might be it.
The 70s were a big time for man-monkey friendships involving cars.
Have you seen Man Bites Dog? It's dark stuff from the funny game School of Nasty, but surprisingly funny too. The killer's poem about pigeons is particularly hysterical. Seen it.
It was a weird circumstance because I heard about this movie. I heard how gnarly it is. I got it from the library. I think I got like an edited R-rated version because the movie I saw had a lot of violence but was very tame.
It's a great movie about glorifying violence.
A media satire.
Where do you cross the line from telling a story to actually
being complicit?
Yeah.
You like those nasty, gory movies, though. Yeah, you can handle it. You got the stomach for it. Mm-hmm. I don't. I'm too sensitive. I'm a sensitive man, full of
regrets.
Brent Ottoson writes, have you seen The Loved One? Saw it for the first time on vacation in Colorado in 2008. Great dark comedy. Seen it.
Seen it.
I just watched it last year, and I loved it. One of my favorites from last year.
I happened upon it on like PBS back when I was in college, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Also, it stars Robert Morse, who most of you know as Bert Cooper on Mad Men.
Yes.
But back in the 60s, he was a big deal. He won Tonys.
It also has Rod Steiger and the brilliant performance of Mr. Joy Boy. Oh, you must come back to meet my mother. And oh my god, Mrs. Joy Boy is one of the great monsters ever put on film.
It made me want to see and read everything that Terry Southern has written because he's really got just a bizarre mind.
Yeah, Terry Southern also wrote Dr. Strangelove.
Parts of Easy Rider, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Dennis Hopper will say differently, but
he basically wrote everything cool back then. Monty Python all looked up to him. Now nobody knows who he is.
Right. Yeah, it's a shame.
Daniel Hamilton writes, have you seen Shadow of the Vampire? It's got Appleton's own Willem Dafoe and Udo Kier.
That movie didn't get really good reviews when it came out. It kind of got panned, but I really enjoyed it.
Sometimes I have my hopes up so high for a movie that all I ask is that it be the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I got there and it's like, that's okay.
Yeah, it's so not fair.
I know it's unfair. That's why I always try to have low expectations going in.
That's Seen It.
And that's our show.
Thanks for joining us for Catch-22. I finally watched it, Craig.
You
after
did.
all these years. We hope the horrors of war haven't gotten you down too much and that you are having a good time with yourself. Join us next time. We're going to watch another movie. He doesn't know what it is. I know what it is. Up here. And soon you'll know what it is. We'll see you then.
You know what, Matt? I'm excited that we're coming up to the 75th episode because then I can finally leave the show.
Actually, Craig, I'm raising the number of shows you have to do to 80. Ah!
What's the matter?
I got a feeling.
Dun, 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 dun. I got a feeling, baby. Dun, 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 dun. Down, baby, 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 baby.
You mean I can't shoot whoever I want to?